I think a classroom, a third grade classroom in 10 years would look like on the walls they would have like computers that can fit on the walls, and they're like kind of like a place where if you need help you can go on there, and there will be like some like something that teaches them, like you can type in the subject or what you're working on, and then it'll talk to you and help you figure it out, so the teacher doesn't have to help you and you don't have to use the whiteboard.
I think in 10 years, a third grade school would look like there'd be an elevator on the side of the school, and kids would go on it and they'd go to a floor that they'd want to go to. There would be buttons, and then when you press those buttons and you order your food in the cafeteria, it'd come down into the hole, and then the robots or something would take the food and give it to you for whoever ordered it.
And I think the desks, um, they would they would have two things. They would have like a whiteboard built into them, so you can technically write on your desk, and you would have like your own iPad or some kind of laptop or something to use.
I think a playground would look, there'd be like a game that you like step on, and then you like guess what you're thinking of, and then it'll guess what you think of in your head.
I think you should be able to bring your phone to school to use if, and you can like email stuff, your answers to the teacher and stuff, and you can, and if the teacher wants you to share something, then you push a button that sets your work up on the camera, so the rest of your class can see it when they're looking.
I think a cafeteria, like there would be, like you would order something, and then you'd like have to press like little buttons and it would come down.
They should have like this screen, kind of like a thing you can like use instead of like a pen, like you can use your fingers and stuff to draw on it, and like you should have a board with voice activated stuff, and so then you can tell it to write, like tell the board write 2 plus 2, and then it'll say 2 plus 2 on there.
They'd have cameras everywhere, and you'd have like an Xbox that you can play on, and then you'd have a smart board that's on your wall in your classroom, and then you can say whatever you want to put it on it, and then it'll come up on the screen. On the smart board, there would be, when you say something, then it'd tell you the answer, and it'd like have voice modification or something, and then kids would be carrying with going to school phones and computers and iPads.
And I think the playground will look like it is now, except fun stuff like whiteboards and stuff, so you can write on there, and like maybe it will have like a room you can go into, and only so many kids can go in it, and there's like one teacher in there, and there's a whole bunch of like computers and iPads and stuff, and you can work on them, and you can like play games and stuff, and that's what I think in 10 years third grade will look like.
I'm Maya, and I'm a middle school student, and what I see schools looking like in 10 years is having programs that kind of teach students as individuals as opposed to like groups. And so each student can learn in their own way, so they're getting the best out of their education for their future. And I also see certain programs that are kind of like holograms, but not really holograms, so it's kind of like it's really there, not just you can walk through it, and you can just go visit ancient Rome and Pompeii before the eruption of Mount Vesuvius and just all kinds of things, and like go to the bottom of the ocean and just learn things about the world and being able to travel without really having to leave the comfort of your own school.
Hi, I'm Brielle, and I'm a middle school student. And what I think a school would look like in 10 years would, well, I think we should have like microphones on, like we could pin them to our shirts every day, and we would be able to talk with the teacher through that, and if we needed help, we could just tell them that we needed help instead of having to wait for them, because that we only have a certain amount of time in each class, and that takes up a lot of time if you have to sit and wait. I also think that we should have 2 starting times for school, like one at 8:15 to like, say 2, and one from 12 to 6 or something like that. So we have 2 different starting times. That way not everyone has to get up as early. And each semester, if you start at 8:15 one semester, then you start at 12 the next semester, so each person gets a chance to sleep in later. I think we should all have like computers or tablets that we could use that we could also take home and use, because in classrooms right now we only have, like most classrooms have 2 to 3 computers, and there's like 20-something students to 30 students, and 3 computers is not always enough if everyone needs to do something. And well, at lunch, we usually have really long lines, and I think we should get like not have to wait in line, just have like you put in an order on the computers or tablets that you would get, and you would just put in what you want, and then like something brings it out, or you could have like at the tables that we have like a little compartment in the table, so there's like a little tablet on the table, and you put in what you want for each person at the table, and then it just comes up right to you.
My name's Parker, and I'm a middle school student, and in 10 years, I think a middle school will have some sort of virtual game system outside. You can go outside and go into a game, such as a football game, and play without any injury or risk to your body. No concussions. You can do anything in the game that you want to do, and for any other sport, such as tennis, baseball. Also, in a school, in 10 years, the classrooms would have virtual keyboards, and you can send emails to your teacher asking questions or telling them what your comments on their lesson is. I also think that in 10 years, the principals, there would be no principals because you wouldn't get in trouble.
Hi, my name is Maddie, and I'm a middle school student. In 10 years, I see schools being a lot of technology in the classrooms, such as smart boards everywhere and individualized iPads and different tablets that the students can use. I see that teachers don't really talk to the students as a group. They talk to each other one-on-one. And I see a lot of like emailing with your teacher and speaking to them about specific things so that you can get help by yourself, kind of like homeschooling but in a larger environment. I see lunchrooms looking like ordering food and having it come down your table with flying saucers and having lots of food everywhere and like a big buffet table full of all these different things that you can try. I see in recesses having virtual and holographic games that you can play where you have a partner that is a hologram or a computerized thing that you can pass a ball back and forth with, or even play a virtual game of chess. And I see a middle school that is just full of technology and full of learning.
I imagine technology in 10 years to be more usage of it and 3D dimensional images. I imagine kids would like it more if we used it more. And I think the walls would be like clear and you could touch it and you could learn like math or language arts or science, and so would the desks. I think it would be really cool and kids would like it more because kids like technology and they use it a lot. So I think kids would learn and they would have fun learning, and so would I.